we have the last two contestants. And the next speaker comes from the Max Delbrück Center in Germany. Let's see the video of the institute first. Science thrives on access and equity. Peran highlights Wombian, a network empowering West African scientists with training, tools, and vision. Please give a warm welcome to Peran. And now the MDC is quite a big institute, so it has two locations where your colleagues are watching now. So let's try to connect with the first location now. Oh! Hey. Hello, guys. Greetings from Brno. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support for Peran. And now the second location. Oh, yeah! Hello. Thanks for showing your support for Peran. We can even hear a bit of that support. So you have a lot of support in two locations in Germany. Some people also here. Now, the floor is yours.
Thanks. So I want to talk about imaging in African research and why that's important to me. I'm going to start with an image we all know, Mercator's world map. Like all world maps, it's wrong. You can't put the round Earth on a flat screen without distorting something. So Mercator decided to get the angles right, but that means that sizes were messed up. And that's great if you want to make Europe look bigger and more important. And it's useful if you want to sail around the world and colonize quicker than your European neighbors. But if you want to see how big things really are, this map helps. And now we see how big Africa really is. You can also distort the world map based on other things like population. Africa's population fits its landmass, but if we look at population growth, Africa is exploding. There will be 3.5 billion new Africans born before the end of the century, and they're going to be born into lands with significant health problems. So what does Africa have to deal with those problems? Well, in terms of economy, not much, but even worse than its economy is its scientific output. My focus is West Africa, so I'm going to highlight West Africa on these two bottom maps to see the discrepancy. So why does Africa need to be doing its own research? Well, there's a bunch of studies that say that R&D is essential for Africa's economic progress. But it's not just about the economy. What do Europeans die from? Cancer and heart disease. So that's exactly what we study. What do Africans die from? Malaria, pneumonia, rotavirus. African scientists are going to be studying problems that matter to them. And if the infrastructure isn't available in their country, then the talent's going to leave. And finally, the bigger question, global science democratization. Who should get to decide what science is done? And why would African people or politicians trust scientists when they don't know any? So, African science, maybe I convinced you. What does that have to do with me? So, I finished my PhD, and I had no career plan. And so, I did the next best thing. I traveled aimlessly across Asia for a year. And while I was doing it, I wondered how science was done in less developed parts of the world. I got in contact with some friends of mine who are this is jumping forward. I got in contact with some colleagues who are microscopists like myself, and we set up a microscopy course in Ghana in 2018. And I want to give a bit of context. That course in Ghana in 2018 used this confocal. And at that time, that was the only confocal that you could find anywhere between these two lines. My institute in Berlin has 15. Berlin as a whole, maybe 50. So we learned a lot from that first course, but we didn't want to stop there. We wanted to do something more sustainable. So we set up a network, Wambian. There's 3 pillars to our mission. The first is training. But there's no point training if the resources aren't available. And there needs to be a local community of scientists to help each other solve local problems. There's a lot of feedback between these 3, and it makes no sense unless they're all pushed together. We've expanded on our trainings, and we're now this year going to be doing our 8th course in our 4th country. We start with basic optics, get more advanced with sample labeling, hands-on microscope use, and image analysis. To improve access to resources, we turn to open hardware. So here they're building a 3D printable microscope. And we try to promote equipment donation of old equipment from the global north. And the network. Our network grows through a train-the-trainer model. We support our students to set up courses themselves. And in the future, we want to move to conferences. So the big question, have we seen any changes? Well, since that first course in 2018, money has come into African bioimaging and funded several initiatives that we partner. There are now 4 confocals in West Africa alone. And I showed you that map of global publications. Well, in 7 years, the publications coming out of West Africa tripled. We want to keep supporting this growth. Check us out. And if you want that too, join us, help us out.
Thank you, Peran. That was Peran with a presentation of a slightly different type again, and about a very important topic that has not been touched upon so much yet, international cooperation, global inequalities, etc. Thank you for bringing that up to this contest.